All right, let's go. Thank you, everybody, for spending your valuable time today with us. All right, so let's just get right to it. I'm going to share the screen and then I'm going to unmute everybody um, so that we can address questions and concerns as we go. And unfortunately, I had to mute everybody for now just so that we can get through this because I know everybody has something important to do. So let's get through it. Just a moment, one moment, one moment. All right, so how to get fundings weekly at DAC. All right, so I'm Katina. I'm an independent agent at DAC, and I just like to go over questions that I receive throughout the week from the team. So I like to go through it with everybody. So, all right, next slide. Today's agenda is best practices to get fundings each and every week. All right. So still admitting some people. So give me just a moment. So we're going to talk about best practices to get fundings each and every week. We're going to talk about marketing ourselves. We're going to talk about handling objections. Now, these are the things people say to us. We want to be knowledgeable and able to answer any questions or concerns that we get from people. We want to be able to answer those with confidence. Okay. And we'll talk about managing clients as well. All right. So again, I'm Katina. During the day, I'm a mortgage broker and business growth coach. And my primary background, though, is real estate. So real estate entrepreneur, real estate broker, all of that stuff. So my background with DAC, I only started about 90 days ago. I was promoted to DAC 4 within about 70 days, and I've recruited dozens and dozens of agents each and every week. All right. So we talked about today's agenda. I think I went backwards. So let's get to it. All right. So first, I want to start off by saying the best way to get questions answered is not emailing me on social media. I hate to say that, but I know y'all see me on social media a lot, but believe it or not, when I go on there and post, I post and I leave. So I'm not, it looks like I'm on there all day, but I'm really not. I'm working. So the best way to get in contact with me would be email, emailing me at the DAC email address, which is info@katinathebroker.com. But also, even a faster way to get questions answered is to, well, the first thing you want to do though is tell the client, let me double check and I'll get right back to you with that answer. So that's the first thing that I would do if I didn't know an answer. But yes, the next best way to go about it is to, if you have time, just be, self-searcher and search on YouTube, look at David's videos, look at Ellen's videos, and please put questions in the chat too as we go, if you don't mind, so that I can stop and answer them. But back to the best way to get questions answered is to look at videos from David, Ellen, and from me on YouTube. But there is a agent resource center on davidallencapital.com. That's a great way to get questions answered. And then also, I think personally that Facebook group is the best way to get questions answered because there's typically somebody on Facebook all day who might know the answer and is probably right there to answer your question. So I personally think the Facebook group is the best way to go. All right. All right. So today, again, we're going to talk about learning the products, setting goals, and maybe even finding a niche. Okay, so now what's a niche? And the reason I say maybe finding a niche might be a good way to go is because some of the questions that I get, it seems that sometimes people are confused about what the products are and about what we're offering and what we're doing. So in my opinion, sometimes it's easier to learn when you're at a new company and you're an independent contractor and the company has lots of products, sometimes it's easier to learn if you narrow your focus or narrow it down to maybe one or two products only, right? And this way you can master those two and then move on to others. But um, what's a niche? It's mastering one thing, becoming an expert in one thing. And so I decided to become an expert in the $25,000 same day loans. So, and that is their most popular product as well. But that's the one I chose to do. But there are lots of others. So hold on one moment. All right, so I wanted to just narrow down some of the most popular products that, newer people may not be aware of yet. But if I needed or wanted to like really, really niche down, I would probably choose one of these. Okay, you might want to focus on the bigger dollars and promote the $2 million loan product. All right, let me go back. You might want to promote the $2 million loan product, or you might want to promote customer financing, you know, one more. Oh goodness, I gotta fix that. Okay, so yeah, you might want to promote online coaching, customer financing for online coaches, for medical and dental offices, or equipment financing for restaurant, trucking, printing equipment, something like that. And again, the most popular though is the same day up to 25,000. Um, and these are some of the questions I get too. So I put it here down in the lower right, but the MCA is very popular. That's a merchant cash advance, or what they call a revenue-based loan. And to be honest, that's the one that most of the consumer or the business owners are getting. And that's because they need money fast, and the banks often will not approve quickly. So this is the one that I like because I know that a lot of small business owners need it. So this is the one that I talk about a lot. But if you wanted to niche down, this is not a bad, these four categories are not bad choices. All right. All right. All right. Let me look at question. Uh-oh. Can y'all hear me? Can you put a one in the chat if you can hear me? Oh. Oh, customer finance more? Um, is it Shazir? Shazir, we had to mute everyone because someone was having a very lengthy conversation and they didn't know that they were here with us. So I had to mute everyone, and I'm going to unmute everybody in a minute. And hopefully the person has already discovered it was a man and a woman talking and talking. So I had to just mute everybody, but we'll unmute everybody in just a second. In the meantime, though, if y'all could put questions in the chat, that would be awesome. Now, and again, one other thing I want to mention, don't forget, guys, I'm still new. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm still new. I've only been at DAC about 90 days. So I don't know every detail about the products, but with the customer financing, somebody wanted me to go back and talk about that a little bit more. And if somebody here knows a lot about customer financing, that would be great when we unmute that if you could add your input. I'm going to try and go back. But with customer financing, I do know that there are a lot of online coaches these days. There are a lot of, um, one moment, there are a lot of, let's say, even with home remodeling, say somebody is, somebody, a contractor who does roofs for a living, and you connect the contractor to start allowing their customers to get financing for the new roof. That may be a great niche. If you're somebody in real estate and you know a bunch of contractors, that may be a great move for somebody to make. So we'll talk a little bit more. I really want to unmute everybody. So we'll talk a little bit more about customer financing in a minute. And this is almost done too. So, but you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna unmute everybody now because a lot of people are still coming in, and hopefully, um, hopefully we won't have an issue. All right. One moment. Okay, if somebody wants to ask some questions, we can do it now. So try to unmute yourself if you have a question, please.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, awesome. Who's
This
this?
is Clive. This is Clive. I was the one that posed the question pertaining to the customer finance.
Okay.
If anyone has any insight on that, I think that can be something I can utilize with my clients. So
Okay.
like you said, the online coaching, I have a couple individuals I can reach out, some medical offices and individuals that have, different products. I can present that to them so their clients can have finance. And so if anyone tapped into that yet, if they know the rollout and how that goes, that would be great if you can share.
And I personally don't. The only ones now I have had a few people apply for financing, like people who own boutiques and things like that. I've had that happen, and I've had lots of the same day loans. But I don't personally know, but I know there are lots of details on the website too, on davidallencapital.com. Lots of details, and they have lots of videos about it too. Anybody else know about the customer financing? Who would like to share?
Yeah, this is Kelly. I'm again very, very brand new, but I did have a brief conversation with Ellen about it before we got on this call. And thinking about even doctors, dentists, medical offices, auto repair shops, anything that has a higher ticket item where it would help their customers be able to get that service from them and pay for it through us.
Okay.
So, but Ellen brought up, like, everybody's heard of Care Credit, both
yes.
at, doctors, dentists, and even veterinary clinics.
Yeah.
I guess she said that they charge like 15%, like that's what they keep out of that whole deal when they do the transaction and do the financing for their customers. And ours is a lot less. We didn't get into how much less it is, but that's a good lead in, even when you're calling into those, dentist offices, okay, I'm curious, you guys take Care Credit, right? And they're all going to say yes. That's your lead in. I'd like to set an appointment with you and talk to you about a program that we have that's it's actually a lot less.
Great tip. That's an awesome tip. And the funny thing is, I had a Care Credit card from years ago for some I had got it for some other stuff, but when I was at the vet just this couple months ago, and I saw that they took Care Credit, and I decided instead of paying cash for my pet all the time, I would start to use that card. And so I did. So yeah, that was
or
great
even
point.
Like those, I think auto repair shops are another great one, because a lot of times maybe somebody doesn't have a credit card with an open, $2,000 limit, if that's what they need to pay on it or something. This would be a nice option.
All right, nice. Anybody else? Something about, thank you too, Kelly. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Something
I had a question, but not about customer financing though.
Okay, yeah, we might as well roll with it.
Okay. So what are because I've been using Facebook to market. Are there certain groups that you would recommend marketing in to get leads and clients for the Bank Breezy?
I would just go, personally, I would just go to business groups. Are you a part of any groups right now on Facebook?
Oh yeah, I'm a part of a lot, and I actually joined a lot yesterday. Like I joined contractor groups, like different niche groups, like landscaping groups, and I put a flyer
Hmm.
in those groups,
Yeah.
in hopes of trying to get clients, but it's
Hmm.
been a little slow. So I'm just trying to see if there are any other recommendations you have for the types of groups that we market in on Facebook.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what, you can go into even Facebook and LinkedIn and just type in, you know, automotive clubs or automotive groups or dental groups or, you know, and see
Did
what
you
pops up and join them.
who was that who asked that question? What's your name?
Brandon.
Brandon, let me change this here. Brandon. Okay, Brandon. So, did you watch that video from last week? I think it was. Did you watch any of my other training videos that are on YouTube?
Oh, definitely. I definitely binge watched your
Oh,
stuff
you
on
did.
YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. I
I
thought,
I like
uh-huh.
the idea of like TikTok because I know like you make a lot of videos, so I'm getting ready to do some of those. A little nervous about it, but I think it's a really good way of putting yourself out there. But I did watch a lot of the videos that you have posted.
Okay. But did you watch the YouTube videos though?
The YouTube, yeah.
Oh,
You,
okay, okay.
mm,
You know what? Let me tell you. So, as far as with groups, what I did, I had created me like a little postcard on Canva, and I had just put it on my Instagram, and that was it. But one day I saw a discussion in a group. So, well,
Okay.
actually twice.
Uh,
So maybe sometimes in the groups, you don't just go and say, hey,
oh,
hey, who needs business or who needs this or who needs that? Wait until somebody's having a discussion
I
and
can't help
then make
class.
sure you add it.
Well,
Can
got
I
it. That
also
makes sense.
don't
offer
worry about it. What happened?
a suggestion?
Who's that? Yes.
You can search inside the groups to see if they've already had a conversation about funding or
Okay.
financing, and then
Okay.
just respond to that thread. So that way,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
anybody who
Uh,
commented on that thread, they'll get a notification saying like you offer something, and they'll look at it.
Oh, got it. That's smart. Okay, I'll try that too. Thank you.
You're
Mhm.
welcome.
Hey, quick question. How is everyone doing, first off?
Good, doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was thinking of an idea of like going like door to door to the businesses in my area and asking do they need any assistance, like putting my stuff out there with DAC. I just started and signed on probably about a week ago. I've looked at the videos that's on the back office and the resource center and some of the videos that you have on TikTok. Definitely looked at some of the videos you had on TikTok. You definitely got my attention off of
But
social.
y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, my TikTok videos, they just for fun. I don't
Right.
really give no, I don't really
And
give
that
serious info until I get to like YouTube.
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The TikTok stuff got my attention, and
Okay.
what it seems like folks are trying to get is the attention so they can prescribe the information that we have here in the DAC training. But I was thinking, like I said, I'm a small business owner myself, and I go to a lot of small businesses, and to pre-qualify them by asking them a question on how long they've been in business, kind of, I hate to say pre-qualifying, but it kind of give you an idea of if they meet the requirements for the Bank Breezy or for any other type of financing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sharing that out there because that's one of the strategies that I was thinking of doing, being that we were speaking on strategies on how to gain more clientele.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right.
Hello.
So, yes.
Yes, hi. My name is Steven. And I just want to add to that topic. I'm also a mobile notary, and on Facebook, there are several like notary communities that I'm a part of. And oftentimes, notaries are looking for additional ways to make money. or additional services to add to their current business. So yesterday, I just put a simple post in one of the groups or two of the groups that I'm in, and almost every single person was more info, more info, more info, more info. So I spent about 3 or 4 hours just replying to all the comments last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's easy though. It's easy to recruit people, in my opinion. But the hard part is recruiting people who are gonna like really close and get fundings. So that's good that you are if you do like cater to a specific type of person, that'll be really good for you. But
right.
like I was uh-huh.
Oh, I was going to also say, and then I was on the phone with a automotive company that I do business with. I had financed some tires a couple of months ago, and it was like 30-day same as cash or 60-day same as cash or something like that. And I made my payment yesterday. And so while I was on the phone with them, they do in-house financing. And so I was actually able to have that conversation with one of the decision makers yesterday about having an option to where it's an outside lender so that you guys don't have to collect payments and you get their money up front. And
Nice.
so I actually have a meeting with them on next Tuesday to discuss lending options.
Who's this?
Stephen
Delvin?
Witherspoon.
Oh, Stephen Witherspoon. All right. Way to go, Stephen. That's how you do it. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, hello. All right. All right, y'all. Hello? Can y'all still hear me? Put a one in the chat. Let's
Yes.
move forward. We almost done. We almost done with this part. So then we'll just have a open discussion again. But okay, I was gonna say the best practices is write down your goals, set some goals and write them down. You know, you are 10 times more likely to reach your goals if you write them down. And like Stephen did, he's targeting certain types of people, which is always a great move. That's a great chess move, in my opinion, is targeting specific people and going after them. And again, when you sometimes you got to niche down to blow up, you know. Oh, and here's a big thing that I feel is really important: learning how to handle objections. And what I mean about learning how to handle the objections are, I get a lot of questions like, people might sign up and then they'll say, well, somebody said this is a scam. And I'm like, okay, if you learn your product and know like what you're doing, then you wouldn't even come to me with that because I wouldn't be a part of a scam. I got a whole bunch of other stuff I could be doing. So, but, we got to learn how to handle objections a little bit better. And even me too, because sometimes I laugh at people. So, sometimes it's just a good idea to have an objection handler ready. Or, another objection handler could be a lot of people, if you post on social media, somebody might chime in and say, what's the interest rate though? Or, ooh, that interest rate is going to be high, So I like to inform all the time that no, this is not a traditional loan. This is a loan for people who are in need right now, or for people who have an opportunity right now. So yes, it's not a high interest rate. If you are a truck driver and you have an opportunity to buy a third truck for a super cheap price, but you don't have all the money, then no, that interest rate means nothing, because when you get that third truck, your income is gonna multiply times 10. So no, that's not a high interest rate for somebody like that. But somebody just getting the loan just to get it, yeah, it's a high interest rate because you don't have a plan. So, those are the kinds of things that I say to anybody who talk to me about an interest rate or anything like that. And of course, interest rates are determined by credit score and the whole picture. So that's what I mean by objection handlers. Just if you know your product and know everything about it, you won't have to worry about people like that. Another best practice too is if you're not going to use the flyers provided or the documents provided to us by DAC, try to use like a Canva or a Vistaprint, because it's you can quickly and easily, and it's a low cost as well, create flyers, postcards, stuff for social media that looks very professional and doesn't cost you a lot of time or money. So that's what I would recommend as the best practice if you don't use the DAC ones. I think the secret sauce to closing fundings each and every week is to talk to 30 business owners a day. If you're going to do phones, talk to 30 business owners a day. If you're going to do social media, probably 50 or more people a day you want to talk to. If you're going to do video, you know, and you want to attract people to you with video, you want to try to keep working until you get, say, 100 views or whatever, say 1,000. You know, it just depends on where you are. If you're doing email marketing, you want to try to email 500 people. If you're doing text marketing, try to text about 1,000 people. So this is just a little slide about branding yourself and kind of, you know, how we might show up, you know, online. So it's just something little fun, a little funny thing I put in here about, you know, how we can look, you know, online. We could come across friendly. We could come across like a serious business person. We want to kind of come up with a niche for ourselves or brand ourselves, decide who we're going to be and how we're going to show up each and every time. So that's what that last slide was about. Oh, here I talked more about handling objections. All right, so I'll go in a little bit deeper about handling objections too. When somebody does object you, sometimes you want to ask a question to their question so that they can clarify exactly what they're saying to you. So that's one way of going about it.
Reflected my life. And I think the tapestry, to your point, of
All
your
right,
own
let me hurry up and get through this so we can open it up.
beautifully woven into this
I think that might have been the last slide right there.
on purpose. And when I read for it, and
Okay, so managing clients. Now, this is the one I wanted to show you because, you know, in this kind of business, if you're talking to a lot of people, you can burn out quickly. So I just kind of wanted to show you how I manage clients, okay? Because a lot of people will message me or send me DMs and imagine if I had to, just my personal way of going about it is I do a lot of messaging, but I do understand that some people actually pick up the phone and have a conversation. So, you know, if you're picking up the phones or whatever you're doing, try to make it easy for yourself so that you don't burn out. And so what I do, I'm proactive with just telling them what they need to know. So I'll give them a snippet. This is the screenshot that I actually used yesterday. So I just I save it in my phone and I just tell them what the guidelines are, you know, and sometimes people will say, okay, thanks, I'm going to apply. And then sometimes people might ask a question or two, or sometimes people might say, well, I've been putting all mine in my personal account. So it's like, I just told you what the guidelines were, but so you will get that, but just try to make it easy on yourself so you don't burn out.
your point, when you're writing for young adults,
And that's it. Let's talk. Any comments, anything that we should, anybody? Let's open up for discussion. We got about 11 minutes.
Can we cover the objections?
Yeah, I kind of went through them really fast. Is there a specific objection that you want to go over and talk about?
You had a page that was for objections, and then we skipped over it and went to managing clients instead.
Oh, yeah, you know why? Because I had already talked about them. I had talked about them on a previous slide. So that's why, but hold on, let me go back to it. Give me one moment.
Make sure I didn't miss anything.
what I felt was this, it elevates the conversation.
Right here, this one, correct?
Yes.
So I was ahead of myself, but I was talking about when people say, oh, is this a scam? Because I'm hearing that quite a bit. And, I tell people too, just because something sounds new to you or you've never been exposed to it, that doesn't mean it's a scam. So, I'll tell people in a minute, you got to educate yourself or learn more about it. But I'm not even gonna entertain those kind of, things. But, I will provide information. Can y'all see the slides right now?
Yep.
Okay. And so interest rate too. You get a lot of questions about the interest rate. And so I do explain to them the most popular product is the revenue-based loan because that's the one most people need. They need the money right away. So that one is a factor rate, not an interest rate. So I explained to them this is not a traditional loan, and so it's a factor rate. And again, if you have an opportunity in front of you, that factor rate is not high, especially if you are expanding or if you are buying a third truck or if you are hiring talent in your company who's going to, triple your profit, then that's not a high factor rate. And again, another thing too, the faster you pay off the loan, the shorter your factor rate is, the smaller your factor rate is. So those are kind of the top two that I get questions about, even from agents. So just kind of learn about the product so that you know how to handle those kinds of questions.
And what I love is we don't have to do a lot. We don't have to do paperwork.
That's the best part. That's exactly the best part. Yeah, that they're handling it for us. Really, our jobs is just to be marketers and bring the clients in. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, I used to work for Heartland for over 10 years. And, so my job was to be a credit card processing expert. And we sold all kinds of other products, which is what I do still. But none of those products I had to do paperwork on. It was just tossing a lead over and it was get paid.
And I'm gonna tell you too, just a bonus, something I didn't plan to talk about, but I had signed up with once I had signed up with DAC and I liked how everything was going, I wanted to see how things would go with other companies. So I signed up with another company and they literally have you to manually fill out the application for each and every person.
Oh,
And I
right.
said, I don't got time for that. I would never make money.
Yeah, that's a big cardinal when you're interviewing credit card processors that you want to sell for.
Yeah.
Can't be paper. Nope.
Yeah, so it's kind of a sweet program and sweet setup that we have at DAC. I mean, they really do make it really easy.
Yeah.
Donald, did you have a question?
Yes, Katina. My question was, you helped me narrow down how to get started faster in regards to the selecting my niche. So, what would you suggest? Ordering the flyers and ordering a Bank Breezy for doing your reels and things like that. What's the next step after you've selected or narrowed down your niche? Which way should I go?
I always tell people with marketing, do what you are already comfortable with. Do what you're comfortable with and what's easy for you, and then you can grow into other areas as you go. But don't do anything at first that makes you uncomfortable or might take up a lot of time. So like what do you think? What type of marketing do you think will be easy for you?
Because I travel, as you can see, I travel quite a bit right now. I'm headed out of Memphis, Tennessee. And I was thinking, I come across a lot of small business, in my travel because I sell life insurance. And so what I was trying to find out was what would be the most profitable thing for me to do, in between time. Is that making sense to
you? Yeah, that makes sense. It seems to me, though, honestly, you could probably easily get a lot of referrals by having maybe a card, to pass along when you talk to these businesses that you're traveling to. A lot of times referrals are the best source of
Okay.
clients for some people. So maybe some other people, sometimes if you're doing business with insurance people, right? Say you're doing
Right.
business with insurance people all over the US.
Okay.
Sometimes they know a lot of people and they can just pass your name and number along and boom, your phone will just start ringing.
Okay. So go ahead and get my business card and everything right away.
It sounds like that might be a great way for you to really, really get started fast.
Right.
Okay.
So when they talk to me, I'm just gonna
I
ask
had
them to forward that to me. You understand? Because for compliance purposes, our company prefers to do it like that.
Who's
Yeah.
talking? So they must be having another
So
conversation.
I was also.
Hey, I wanted to chime in on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, who's this?
This is Delvon Combo.
Hi.
Hey, I wanted to chime in on Donald's statement and that he's driving. I don't, for whatever the insurance company that you work for, do you have their information like on a magnet on your car? Because if not, you can put the information that we have for Bank Breezy or DAC on your car, and being that you're mobile, you'll get a lot of people that'll get a lot of people's attention, because I'm mobile myself. I do mobile detailing in the DMV area, and just putting a magnet on my van increase my my reach a lot more. So with what you already do with that on your vehicle, it'll really enhance what you got going on.
Got it. So would you suggest the as you in one of your videos, like you scan with your phone, with your email and things, or Bank Breezy number already there, just scanning with
Like
your
a
phone
QR?
and take it to a link. Yeah.
Like one of these? Like a QR code?
Yeah. So I do that on Canva, or where can I get that?
You could do that on Vistaprint. Here's a card I created too. Like all he has is his name, number, and then just a huge QR code. And
Okay.
then, but they got some now that it could connect to all of your social media, but you can have it connect wherever you want it to go.
Like those metal
Okay.
cards.
Yeah, you can create these like on Canva, on Vistaprint, all of those. They're
That's
they're
exactly
a lot
what I
easier. Uh-huh.
I have connected.
Oh, nice, Delvon.
I found a. Oh yeah, that does look nice.
So they can just
Nice.
that QR code while you're driving with their
Yeah.
image, and immediately goes to your site or your link that you got up there, and it's right there. I'm not doing this to promote my business. I swear I'm not. I swear I'm not.
No, that was a great suggestion. And you know what? I used to do that all the time when I was like full time as a realtor. But I never had a QR code there, but I would just have my name and number and website. But that's cool.
Thank you.
I just signed up for this. What's it called? I'm trying to find his name now. It's a marketing company, and one of the things that you can pick out of his many options for trying to get people's attention that they're going to open, and one of them was they're bank bags. They're just expensive vinyl bank bags. That's not a real bank that's listed on here. And then you put your stickers on here and you mail these to people, or you can drop them off. And it comes with fake money,
Ooh.
$1 billion bill here. And you just stuff the bank bag with your card, this $1 million bill, and then maybe your, flyer or whatever it is that you're going to be using to pass out. But they will open this. They're going to go, what? A bank bag?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely
Got
they'll
those, so
open
I'm
it.
excited to start using them.
Nice. All right, y'all. So anything else? Thanks for your question, Donald. That brought out a lot of creative answers. Anybody?
Based on who you've heard and seen so far, it looks like you've got a good active group here.
It does look like a great group. So Clayton
Hi,
Matlock.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I kind of suggest to the guy, everyone you have something natural that you do. what makes you feel comfortable, like he's a life insurance agent.
Mhm.
So he's used to speaking to people. He's around a lot of people, offering them what I call not really life, because most people are tied it to burials, but it's actually um, it's a future investment for those you will leave behind with life insurance. But at the same time, it's kind of like filling out people or probing people. What we use in the sales industry is like probing questions that you can ask people that get them to basically tell you what they need or what they want. Um, I guess kind of give an example, like one of the things we did in the cable industry was, let's say, we asked them, well, what do your children like to watch? And they begin to talk about their children, something that's really natural and close to them once you found out they had kids, and they will get a lineup. Then you're able to actually narrow down a package for them because they just told you about their lifestyle. So it's the same thing in a business community. It's finding out, what's actually what are your greatest needs with your business. And a lot of people actually will talk to you when they feel comfortable with you. And if that's your natural environment, they can feel that off of you. You make them feel comfortable, they will open the door for you without you
Right.
trying too hard to come in. And
All
and
right,
that kind
thank
of
you.
works for me.
All right, thank you for that. We're about to run out of time. Any other questions, comments before we wrap it up, y'all? Going once?
I would say for somebody who's doing this pretty darn actively, what would be considered, you know, that you're doing well? Is it doing 2 deals a week? Is it 4 deals? Like for the
Mm,
average new person coming in?
I would say definitely one deal a week. One a week would be considered good. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Anybody having one deal a week? Anybody?
Mm-mm.
See, that's why one deal a week is good. There you
I just started
go.
yesterday, so
That's funny.
Huh? What'd you say?
Okay, so for your next call, we all better be answering yes to one deal.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. Well, all right, y'all. That is my time. This was very, I love the interaction. So this is oh, you know what? There is one more thing I wanted to say. So, as y'all might know, I do a lot of like online business courses. So, check your email, because when I think I'm going to do one next week on real estate investing. So, of course, my DAC team, of course, you get the free pass to the course. So the first one I do is always live. So I will be sure to send you like the code and all the information so that if you're interested in attending, you can. Now, the only one that you can get this free code for is if you attend the live. So
Okay.
after the live, then there's a cost on the course, right? So if you can make it, but typically I do them on Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock Eastern time. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing one next week or maybe the following, but probably next week. So just watch out for your email. I'll email you the code.
Okay, great.
okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Anybody know they're going to be there?
I am.
Yes,
I'll be there.
Awesome.
I will.
Yes.
Right
Awesome.
now, I'm
Awesome.
getting ready.
Well,
I'm getting ready to
Is
take
it
my
Charlotte?
exam for my Charlene. Yes,
I
yes.
love that name. I love that name.
I'm studying right now to take my real estate exam.
Oh,
So that'll be great for me to
who's
continue
this
that.
studying for the real estate exam?
I am.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, y'all. So, yep, I'll be emailing you probably maybe by Tuesday with a code so that you can just register and sign up. And then on the day of the workshop, you'll have all the information in advance.
Perfect.
That's it. Thanks everybody for attending today. This was great. We're going to start doing more
Thank you.
interactive ones. This was awesome. All right. See y'all later.
See ya.
All right. Have a
Appreciate
good
you.
day.
Bye.
Bye.